So folks, it's getting to the end of the week. Did you know what that means? Transfer Friday! That's right folks, back once again with another video, this time taking another look at the current transfer situation out in the Championship, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, smash your subscribe button to keep bang up to date with all things Championship related, Blackburn Rovers related, football related. We're going to all here under one roof. So what we're going to do here folks is take a look at each one of the 24 clubs and bring you up to date with the latest transfer rumours involving each and every club. Now I've got something for everybody. If you're a Barnsley fan, if you're a Charlton fan, if you're a West Ham fan, West Brom fan, I've got something for you, whether it's coming in or coming out. But again, these are only rumours. They could turn into something, they could pan out, or something else might spring from it. You never know. But anyway, let's get cracking because there's a lot to talk about. And we're going to take a sneaky peek from here. Okay, folks, kicking us all off, it is Barnsley. That's right, newly promoted from League One. They are joining us now and are currently linked. Well, one player on the books at Barnsley, forever linked since the transfer window opened, is Liam Lindsay. He's been rumoured by pretty much every Championship club under the sun. Good, solid centre-back. Still good age as well. Could go anywhere. So this one, it's still bubbling, and I'm sure it's going to continue until the domino effect starts. I'm sure once one defender moves else somewhere in the footballing world, it'll eventually trigger Liam Lindsay's departure. But right now, he's linked to pretty much everybody. I'm not even going to mention them. On the flip side, players coming in. Adam Matthews has been linked to coming into Barnsley, obviously released by Sunderland, who failed to get themselves out of League One back into the Championship. So they failed. But Adam Matthews currently on the books, well, formerly on the books of Sunderland, now without a club. He's been linked with Barnsley, amongst others. And joining him is CJ Hamilton on the books at on the books at Mansfield. And again, I think they failed to get promoted from League 2 to League 1. So he's stuck in the League 2 wilderness. He could make a double leap into the Championship with Barnsley if these rumours are correct. Kicking on further into Birmingham. Now, a lot of rumours right now go around their manager, Gary Monk. I checked Twitter this morning, and it looks like he could be on his way out. Is he on his way out to go to another job, or is it just button heads at Birmingham that's kind of seen him decide to walk away? Obviously, they're going to start with a... did they have it? No, they had the 10-point deduction last season, so they should start with a clean slate. And obviously, they got Che Adams on the books. Maybe his future is something that's led him to feel this way. And again, it is just rumours. It might have developed. I don't know. I've not looked at Twitter in a few hours, so it might have developed. But anyway, back on the football field, the only player I saw this week, it was actually a very quiet week overall in the transfer sphere. I think maybe a lot of managers are on their vacations. Obviously, they need a bit of rest and recuperation themselves. So maybe this was just the week or 2 weeks period where a lot of the majority of the managers are not at the office and they're taking a break themselves. But anyway, the only rumour I could see was Isaac Excel joining Luton during this past few days. If that pans out, we'll have to wait and see. But as for the coming in, nothing. I got absolutely nothing. Now, however, over at Blackburn Rovers, again, it's been a pretty quiet week for us. Obviously, Bradley Dack has been rumoured to some of the mid-table, lower echelons of the Premier League, including Aston Villa and Brighton this week. Both quoted around about 15 million for Bradley Dack. Will that happen? I don't think so. I think he will stick around for this season, perhaps till January. Maybe if we're having a shit season, then he might jump ship then. Maybe we can push that value up towards 20 million. But anyway, those are the current links coming out. How about the coming in? Well, I did mention it last week on the old transfer update of Glenn Whelan. That's still bubbling around and hasn't died away as much as the Stuart Downing transfer. So Whelan's still currently linked, obviously formerly of Aston Villa. There are other Championship clubs sniffing around. But fresh, hot off this morning, Jordan Heigl has been linked with Blackburn Rovers. Obviously spent the last season on loan at Middlesbrough, but currently on the books at West Ham. I think Charlton and Preston are also rumoured to be after this guy. Obviously Heigl used to play for Preston, so that could be his destination. Anyway, kicking off further into Brentford. Obviously they've got a lot of talented players and they're always sought after. The latest is Benrahma. Aston Villa had a bid knocked back by Brentford. I think they'll come back again for maybe an increased offer. Obviously Brentford, formerly managed by Dean Smith, now at the books at Aston Villa, seems to be going to be robbing them blind from some of their players. On the flip side, Liam Lindsay, again, I mentioned him before. He's been linked with here, there and everywhere, and Brentford are one of the teams looking at him. Over at Bristol City, not many players going out, but Matthew Clark has been linked with Bristol City. I think we might be losing, or they might be losing out to a Premier League club. I think he might be making the step up from League One all the way to the Prem. So yeah, he's currently on the books at Portsmouth, and joining him is Reece Brown, currently on the books at Forest Green Rovers. Had a decent season for them. They did make the playoffs, but unfortunately they couldn't make that step up to League One. So yeah, he's currently on the books at Forest Green. Could be making a switch to Bristol City. And one city to another, Cardiff, just down the road. Obviously, again, pretty much very quiet on the old transfer scene this week. But the only player I've noticed is Luis Diaz, who's currently playing over in South America. I'm going to say that because I don't know where Junior Barraquala are. But this fella was linked with Cardiff back in January when they were in Premier League. But the rumours have resurfaced, and he could be making another switch. Again, he'd be taking a step down from the Premier League now to the Championship. But still, if anyone could do it, Cardiff City could do it. But that's the only rumour for me out there. So he plays for Junior. Now, Charlton Athletic. Last week they were linked with one Bolton player, Ertzheimer. This week they're linked with another Bolton player, Ben Alnwick, the goalkeeper. He's also at the books at Bolton. So that's the only rumour again this week. In fact, tell a lie. Obviously, the Jordan Heigl was another one. I didn't mention it earlier, but yeah, it didn't get that much attention from me. Clicking on further down the road, it is Darby. Now, Darby obviously failed at the playoffs. The final hurdle, but they've been linked with Tom Bayliss, currently at Coventry City. Now, this is a player who is a youngster, could develop into something decent. And joining him, another rumour is Stephen Mavidi. Now, he's not on Foothead, hence my little botched up Photoshop effort there. But he's actually former Arsenal player, currently on the books of Juventus. Now, this fella is he's been playing a lot of reserve team football over in Italy, and he's looking to step up the grade now. Maybe in a Championship, I think, could be his level, and this one could develop into something. If not here, well, he could also be popping up here. That's right. Stephen Mavidi has been linked with Fulham, as has Todd Kane. Todd Kane, formerly Blackburn Rovers player back in the day, right back. He seems to be going on loan at everyone's had him at one point. It's like the local bike goes here, there, and everywhere, if you know what I mean. But Todd Kane, released by Chelsea and hotly linked with Fulham, amongst others. And like I said, Stephen Mavidi from Juventus has also been linked. Meanwhile, over at Huddersfield, from one relegated club to another, Huddersfield have been linked with big money, possibly a loan, I think. Ivan Carvalho from Wolves has been made available by Wolves. I think they've got bigger fish to fry. And also, again, another Brentford player, Yohan Barbet, from Brentford, has been linked with Huddersfield. So we'll see if those two develop into something. And also this week, Nigel Atkins left Hull City as manager. So again, the news or the rumours for Hull have been pretty low-key because of the fact that they don't have a manager. There's no point linking the players to Hull. But I do have something for you. Obviously, we'll see. Actually, there's been some interesting names linked with the whole job. But it'll be interesting to see who they bring in. And I think, you know, last season before kickoff, I did have Hull as a relegation fodder, but they surprised us all when they finished mid-table quite securely. And I have been speaking to some Hull fans, and it is quite sad. They're quite gutted that he's no longer at the club. He seemed to have brought some logical sense and all that, but now it's one of them. You know, you could get something decent coming through the door, or you could get an Owen Coyle for all they know. So you're careful what you wish for, folks, because you might end up with something shitty, and that could depend on, and that could, you know, sway my vote and sway, you know, your likelihood of survival next season. Anyway, some players have been linked with Hull despite the lack of manager. Luke Daniels from Brentford, goalkeeper. Now this would probably hinder on the fact of Marshall's status at Hull. If Hull, there was earlier links to linking Marshall to Liverpool. If that were to pan out and he does leave, there would be a goalkeeping vacancy up for grabs, and Daniels would fit the bill, and he's been linked with them. Also, maybe Herbie Kane, currently on the books at Liverpool. Maybe a sort of swap deal involving Marshall could be involved, but Herbie Kane has been involved with Doncaster last season, and a couple of other Premier League Championship clubs are linked with Kane this season. Moving on to Leeds. Now they seem to be throwing the money around here. They've been linked with Helder Costa of Wolves, another one of the players that seem to have done the deal to get Wolves into the Premier League. I think seem to be surplus to requirements this time out. Leeds looking for players on the wings. Looks like that's their style of play, as they're also looking at Ryan Kent. Had a tremendous season with Rangers last season on loan, but now could be making the switch to Championship club on a loan deal, or maybe on a permanent basis. We'll have to wait and see. But those two are the key players this week linked with Leeds. Over in Luton Town, we mentioned one of them, but Brendan Galloway is another player linked with with Luton from Everton, and again, could be a loan, could be a opponent deal. We'll have to wait and see. And ISFSL, we did mention him earlier. Over at Middlesbrough, yeah, it's been quiet as well. I think they're just about to announce Jonathan Woodgate as manager, so prior to that, it's been difficult to try and find out who's coming in, who's going where without a manager. But now it looks like defence is of top priority, and Reece Oxford has been linked, currently in the books at West Ham. He was on the verge of going to Augsburg on a permanent deal, but that fell through, and it's opened up the door for a couple of Championship clubs to be making a move, and he could make the switch to Middlesbrough. And joining him is the forever linked Liam Lindsay, again from Barnsley, linked with everybody. Now over the road at the Den, Millwall last week were linked with a Turkish goalkeeper of 38 years, but now they seem to switch their attention to this guy, Bartosz Balkowski of Ipswich Town, obviously relegated with the Potters, not Potters, relegated with Ipswich last time out. But yeah, he was player of the season for 2 years running. Had a bit of a nightmare last season, so he could be looking to make the switch. And also joining him could be Herbie Kane. I did mention him earlier. Currently in the books at Liverpool, did have a good season with Doncaster on loan, who failed during the playoffs to get through to the Championship, baby. Moving forward over to Nottingham Forest. This one's got me stumped. First and foremost, they were linked with Hossam Ayash, Palestinian Swedish player over at Osterlands. That is one player linked, and he's linked with a couple of Championship clubs. But what about this guy, Christian Stuani, formerly of Middlesbrough, currently on the books of Girona, who have got relegated to the second division over in Spain. But if this is, the rumour has it, Forest are linked with him, but they're going to have to duke it out with none other than Barcelona. So to be honest with you, don't see that one happening. Moving forward over to Deepdale, again pretty quiet on the transfer front over in Preston. The only one I noticed this week was Johnny Williams. He was linked with a few Championship clubs last week. Currently on the books at Charlton, could be making the switch to Deepdale. Over at Loftus Road and what's his chops, Warburton's been busy as well. A couple of little players last week, two different ones this week. Adam Matthews again released from Sunderland. We mentioned him at the top of the shop. Also linked with QPR. And joining him, Alan Judge, currently in the books at Ipswich. I think those two worked together at Brentford when Warburton was manager then. So these are the current two players linked with QPR. Pushing on further to the Majewski. Currently a player going out is taking the headlines. Liam Moore could be on his way to Celtic, north of the border, Scottish Premier League, to win some bling up there. But also on the flip side, another player we already just mentioned, Hosham Ayashish from Osterlands, the Palestinian Swedish fella, could be coming in for Reading. Moving over to Hillsborough. And again, a couple of players coming in. Potentially one going out. Moses Utajabayo, we'll mention him in a second. Adediti Nuhu, the big gangly forward, has been linked with KF Shinkanjanja of North Macedonia. They're in the Champions League, so you'd swap Hillsborough for Champions League football, would you? Possibly. It's closer to his home anyway, so it'd be more like it. And again, I wouldn't miss him because he scored against us last season. On the flip side, I mentioned briefly Mosif Adebayo, currently on the books at Brentford, could be making the switch to Hillsborough as well. Again, a right back. It looks like Stevie Bruce is focusing on defence, but also he's also taking a look at Kadeem Harris, a winger at Cardiff City. Again, I think he was linked with a couple of teams last week, but now it is Sheffield Wednesday. Stoke City have been very, very busy as well. They look to have secured some deals behind the scenes. But most recently, they've been linked with Matthew Pennington, currently in the books at Everton, and also Glenn Whelan, who Rovers are interested as well, Aston Villa. So that is the two latest players. I think Nick Powell's coming through the line. I think a striker from Millwall's coming through, a goalkeeper as well. So those ones seem to be over the line. These two are the latest. So we'll have to see what goes on. Meanwhile, over Swansea, obviously they are looking for a new manager. Looks like they're going for some under-18 manager at Chelsea or something. But they're only linked. Again, it's hard to get links with clubs without a manager. So the only one I did find was Ruben Lamirez from Plymouth. A very good player. They just let Graham Carey leave Plymouth, who's gone over to CSK Sofia. Whew. Who's joining Tony Watt over there, ex-Rover. And so Ruben Ramirez, I don't think he's definitely better than League 2 standard. Definitely Championship quality content right there. So that would be a good move for him and a good move for Swansea. And West Brom, again, without a manager, looks like what's his chops, the Croatian, former West Ham guy, completely mental block right now. could be coming in to be manager of West Brom, and they are linked with also with Reece Oxford. We mentioned him earlier with Middlesbrough, and again, Augsburg stumbled out on that transfer, but he's currently on the books at West Ham, but could make the switch to the Championship. And wrapping it up, it is Wigan. A couple of players for them. Brendan Galloway, we mentioned him earlier, currently on the books at Everton. And Lukas Čikajičić over at Birmingham City. Looks like if these rumours are correct, Che Adams could be on his way out. And also Čikajičić could also be on his way out. And also Isaac Vassell could be on his way out from Birmingham. So 3 strikers out. And right now, no real rumours coming in for players at Birmingham. That's pretty much all I've got for you today, folks. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the thumbs up. And if you do, smash the subscribe. I'm going to try and bring you a transfer update each and every week out in the Championship for each and every one of the clubs. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. So smash the like, smash the subscribe. If you've got any other links for me, stick them in the old comment section down below. I do appreciate that. If you can help me out, point me in the right direction, and we'll give you an updated list next week. And speaking of next week, I will be going live to do the reveal of the Championship fixtures. Early doors for me, 4 AM over here. So if you want to join me live for a stream, I'll be here. I'll be looking at Blackburn Rovers fixtures, but I'll be looking at the Championship as a whole. And again, we'll compare the odds to see how we do, how we don't, that sort of stuff. And kicking off further into August, we'll be predicting each and every week live on the YouTube Championship fixtures. That is a decision I made quite recently. But anyway, I'm going to let you get out of here. Thumbs up, subscribe. Ciao for now. Thanks again for watching. Please like, share, and most importantly, hit the subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Championship related, football related. We've got it all covered right under one roof. And while I still have you, please be sure to check out some of the old videos scattered along here. I hope.